Next up, we have got a judge has been arrested. Go ahead, pull that up there. A judge has been arrested. So on April 25th, Milwaukee County Circuit Judge, call it Circus Judge, Hannah Dugan was arrested by the FBI at the courthouse and charged with obstruction of a federal agency, which is a felony, and allegedly concealing an individual to prevent an arrest. Now, what they're claiming is that she helped an illegal immigrant from Mexico named Eduardo Flores Ruiz, and I gotta maintain this is alleged at this point, hide from ICE in her home. Hid from ICE in her home. Now, the way that the mainstream media and the way the Democrats and the left have painted this is, oh my God, look at these fascists at the Trump administration. They're going out arresting judges who have been critical of them. Look at this is Nazism right before our eyes. This is how fascism. Well, you guys remember what you shouted pretty much daily when you were running your lawfare against Donald Trump and his associates? It was that no one was above the law. Well, this is the precedent you set. Remember what I said? When you set a precedent, you got to ask yourself, how's it going to be used against you in the future? Because you know it will be. This is what it looks like. Except she actually did break the law here. They're arresting judges. Is this what you voted for? Well, when they break the law, yeah, that is what I voted for. I mean, what are we gonna let her get behind the wheel drunk and kill somebody? Well, she's a judge. Yeah, and do you want a caste system in this country where we have different classes that get different privileges based on what they do? So if she's a judge, she can just break the law, allegedly? Allegedly. I mean, that's the thing.
Politically.
If you or I hit a fugitive from any federal agency in our basement, we would go to prison. And there wouldn't be any Twitter uproar against us. They would have said, yeah, look at that idiot. He let a fugitive hide out in his basement. What did he think was going to happen? That's obstruction of justice and concealing an individual to prevent arrest from a federal agency. That's a felony. What a fool. Now here, let me pull this woman up here. Pull the picture up here. She is hot. Look at that. She is smoking, this Hannah Dugan. I mean, when she inevitably loses her license, she's got a career on OnlyFans waiting for her. So, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers, Senator Tammy Baldwin called it an overreach that threatens judicial independence and public safety by deterring immigrants from attending court. No, it threatens people's ability to break the law, which is the whole point of law enforcement, which is, believe it or not, what the FBI happens to be, is a law enforcement agency. So it sounds to me like they're doing their job. Okay, let's go to the next one. We're going to talk about Mia's favorite breed of dog here. The state of Florida passed a dangerous dog law in the Senate, through the Senate. It's going to go to Ron DeSantis' desk for him to sign. Says a bill to increase oversight of dangerous dogs has passed both chambers of the legislature. Now awaits on Ron DeSantis' signature. Known as the Pam Rock Act. Passed the Senate Monday. Identical bill passed the House last week. Contains the following provision. An animal must be confiscated and impounded when it is investigated as a dangerous dog and has killed a person or has bitten and left a mark that scores 5 or higher on the Dunbar bite scale. An animal that is subject to any other dangerous dog investigations must be confiscated and impounded. An animal control authority must notify the owner of the final order classifying their dog by registered mail. The owner of the dog, if the dog is deemed dangerous, they must obtain liability insurance of at least $100,000 and implant a microchip in the dog. Creates a third-degree felony if you remove the chip. And an animal control authority must humanely destroy a dangerous dog that has killed a person or has bitten them seriously and has been surrendered to an animal control authority. So the pit mommies in the comments are big mad about this. They're claiming that this is discrimination against their dog breed. Do you know that, Mia? It's discrimination to say that if your dog kills somebody, we have to put it down. Here's my question. How was this not the law to begin with? What was the law to begin? So if your dog kills somebody, there's a chance you get it back until now? How is that not like... Can we stop with the pit bull propaganda? Can we stop? Oh, it's just the owners. There's no such thing as a bad breed. It's just no, it's not just the owners. It's not. It's hundreds and hundreds of years of instinct that's been bred into these dogs. These dogs were bred to fight and to kill. That's what they were bred to do. That's what they do. It's instinct. It's genetics. It's not the owners. Yes, there are owners that have other breeds of dogs and treat them like shit and they do horrible things. And yes, there are dogs that are good dogs that are treated well and they have a medical incident that just makes them snap. I had a dog that was the most well-behaved dog you'd ever see when I was a kid. She had a stroke, freaked out. Okay, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but those are far and few between. The reality is pit bulls make up 6% of dogs in America and 67% of fatal dog attacks. Those numbers are pretty damning. And when you consider that these shelters and people in areas with BSL, breed-specific legislation, lie about what breed their dogs are and say they're lab mixes or boxers or whatever the case may be, both of those numbers probably increase, but I guarantee you the fatality increase is far disproportionate to the total dogs in America percent increase. So you're probably looking at 10 to 12% of dogs in America and over 80% of fatalities from dogs come from some type of pit. And that's not including attacks on pets. That's just humans. So it's not the owners, guys. You hear it again. Yes, there are dogs that are well trained and have some type of medical incident and snap, but you never hear about it with any other breed to the degree you hear about it with pit bulls. You can check the news several times a week in this country. Perfectly stable, loving families with dogs that never even showed a hint of violence lose their mind and kill either the kid or the mother or the family dog or some stranger that was walking down the street. And they never saw it coming. That's an issue with the breed. That's genetics, okay? Pointers point, Labrador retrievers retrieve, Australian shepherds herd. Believe me, they herd everything. Pit bulls kill. My Aussie has never been on a farm in his life. Instinctively herds us in the house all the time. But when a pit bull, which has been trained to fight, which it's been ingrained in their system to fight and kill for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, freaks out and kills somebody, it's just the owner, right? It's not genetics. It's just the owner. Even though they do it all the time and they do it way more than any other breed, it's just the owner. Is it really the owners, or does this worthless breed just attract worthless people? Because there is a psychology to the average pit bull owner. These are people that want to make a statement. They like the gangster life, being able to associate power over people. Not all of them. I'm not saying all pit bull owners are bad people, but let's be honest, they do attract a certain type of person that they have a high, just like pit bulls have a higher percentage of fatal attacks, pit bull owners have a higher percentage of being trash. Like, if it's really the owners, why do they attract so many bad owners? You know what I always love? Mia, I always love when this argument comes up and people go, pit bulls are nanny dogs. You know that? They're nanny dogs. They always say that. Do you know in the 1800s, people used to leave pit bulls with their kids to watch them when they would go out and work on the farm or hunt or go off to war? Yeah, they'd leave their pit bulls with the kids. How could you say that pit bulls are a bad breed when people in the 1800s used to have them watch their kids? Yeah, the 1800s. Do you know what percentage of kids died before their 5th birthday in the 1800s? 40%. If you had 5 kids in the 1800s, 2 of them died before they turned 5. Okay? So maybe we shouldn't take parenting advice from people in the 1800s. Those that didn't die went and worked in the mines. Do you know what was considered over-the-counter cough syrup for children, Mia? Take a guess. What do you think was considered cough syrup for kids in the 1800s?
Whiskey.
No, worse. If you took your kid to the doctor and said, I think he's got a cold and I can't get him to get rid of it, they would prescribe black tar heroin to your child as a cough medicine. Bloodletting was how they treated medical ailments in the 1800s. So maybe we shouldn't take advice, our parenting advice, from the people that gave their kids black tar heroin for a cold. Have we considered that? Have we thought about that? Just for a second. Yeah, next time there's a mass shooting or a fatal car accident, I'm going to do what pit bull owners do because it's so disrespectful and it speaks to the type of trash that these people are more often than not. Anytime you hear about a pit bull mauling a family to death or, killing the family dog or something like that, instead of people just commenting, "I'm so sorry for your loss, this is tragic," you'll get like over a dozen pit bull owners, pit mommies as we call them, in the comments posting pictures of their dogs with their kids or in pajamas or something like that. It's so disrespectful. The next time there's a mass shooting, I'm going to post a picture in the comments on the local news of my AR-15 in pajamas. Be like, "Wouldn't hurt a fly." There's a fatal car accident. You just post pictures of your kids posing with the car. Not my car. He would never do this. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. And then the pit bull owners will call, "Oh, what are you, just scared? Are you scared of pit bulls?" You idiots pretend to be scared of chihuahuas every time we have this debate. That's their other go-to. "Well, I'm much more worried about a chihuahua biting me than a pit bull." I had a chihuahua. It attacked me almost daily. Mia can attest. She had a chihuahua. It was our chihuahua, but it was hers before it lived with me. It attacked me almost daily. And I'll take that daily for the rest of my life over one pit bull attack. One. Let me make this clear to you pit mommies out there. My only fear with the monstrosities you call a pet is that how much ammo I would waste when I pump 15 rounds into it the second that it makes a move on me. The abomination that you consider to be your dog. I carry every time I go on a walk. And here's what I'll tell you, is if a pit bull jumps, and I will not walk on the same side of the street with a pit bull. I'll cross, kind of like old ladies do when they see a black person. I'll cross the street and go to the other side if I see a yard of the pit bull in it. If that dog jumps the fence, any of them, and comes running toward me, that is a killing machine. I'm not taking the gamble that monstrosity wants to play with me or my dog or my wife or my kid or whoever's with me. It will not make it across the street before 6 bullets hit it in the head. I'm not playing that game. I'll treat it the same way I would treat a guy coming across the street at me with a baseball bat. Except the guy I can point the gun at and say, "Hey, fuck off." The pit bull's not going to get the message. So it's going to get treated with that level of seriousness. And to quote Ivan Drago, "If he dies, he dies." It's not my problem. And they'll always say, "Well, these are the same arguments people are having about people, the anti-gun crowd are making about guns, Caleb. How hypocritical are you?" Well, no, first off, there's no constitutional right to a pit bull. There's that, number one. Second off, guns are inanimate objects. They're not killing machines that can wake up on the wrong side of the bed one day or think that the kid looked at it the wrong way, or maybe just chew up the other family dog across the street because it felt like it and it has a high prey drive. A gun needs an operator. A pit bull does not. Okay? A Glock doesn't wake up one day and decide to walk outside and shoot the woman and her baby walking across the street. Now, a lunatic with that gun might do it, but he could also do it with a knife. He could do it with a bat. He could do it with a hammer. He could do it with his bare hands. You remove the pit bull from the situation, statistically speaking, it's about 80% less likely to happen. If you leave a 4-year-old alone with a loaded gun and they shoot their sibling, you go to jail. But if you leave a 4-year-old alone with a pit bull and it mauls them to death, nothing happens. Why? Both are retarded. So what do we do? There's got to be a solution because I'm all about providing solutions. I don't want to go door to door and take people's dogs from them. That's not what I'm in the business of doing. I'm not interested in that. What I think we do is I think we legislate them out of existence. We make it so that there's a couple things we do. Mandatory insurance, like they're doing in Florida, if you have a pit bull. If your pit bull mauls somebody, you get charged with a crime. So if it kills a kid, you get manslaughter of a child. If it kills a pet, you get cruelty to animals. If it mauls somebody, you get assault. Whatever the case may be, you are responsible criminally for your pit bull's crimes. If a pit bull gets brought into the vet's office, that vet, unless they want to lose their license, is required to mandatorily sterilize it. We find out that dog was in your office and you didn't set up an appointment to have it neutered or spayed, you lose your license for life. We have to crack down on it. And if that person no-shows that appointment, that person loses their dog and we euthanize it. If a pit bull hits the shelter, if they find it as a stray and nobody claims it in 7 days, euthanized. We ban pit bulls as emotional support animals and service animals. You can get a lab, you can get an Aussie, you can get a German Shepherd, you can get all kinds of dogs as your service animal, but you cannot get a pit bull. Now, I know these people aren't always the most responsible, but if pit bull puppies come in, they are all to be neutered and spayed. You legislate the breed out of existence. That's the only way to fix this.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to click the link in the description to get the full episode on Rumble. If you prefer to listen along, you could actually get us on Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. You can also go to www.outlawstreamers.com to learn more about not just my show, but tons of other great shows and all the exciting projects they have coming up. Follow my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, at Caleb Salvatore Comedy on the Chinese Spy app that is TikTok, and be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks, and we'll see you every Saturday for brand new episodes of That's Based. Peace.